people on the internet, but no one knows about them yet. Also, one more thing to sort of make this work is you have to make sure that, since some sites do incremental backups, you want to be able to do a full backup, but you want to be able to make sure that the entire database is going to be backed up. So you may have to do something to make sure the size of the incremental backup is big enough so that it's going to be able to do a full backup. Now, this file that Lucy is distributing throughout the company, it's got a 0-day virus in it. No one knows about this exploit yet. It's undiscovered. And in fact, the virus doesn't do anything. It just sits there, might propagate. It sits there pretty quietly, just waiting for the right time. All right, next, the hacker generates a faked press release regarding the XYZ company. They are now announcing they're going into adult services. And goes on to quote about the CEO, John Smith, and says, there's a real need, there's real money in here, and heck, I love pornography. So you can imagine what might happen. Well, let's see what happens here. So then the hacker makes a phone call to Innocent Ivy, okay? Said, I was on this URL, and I found something on your webpage that I don't think should be there. And notices and lets Ivy know about this, and she checks it out, and she reports it to her manager. Says, "Oh my God!" And also the magician at the same time reveals the details of this new 0-day. Here's the exploit. Here's how it works. Maybe says, "I've seen this in the wild," or something like this, or whatever. Just they put all the source code, put all the information out there to let people know about it and let the hackers play around with it. So probably pretty soon you'll see malwares using this stuff and all that. Okay, so this is things that we're doing the bluff, we're doing a unwitting accomplice, we're creating a false conclusion, revealing an inferior method by others. So we're doing all that at this point. And we still haven't gotten to the good part yet. Okay, meanwhile, the CEO hears about this press release. He's obviously not reading Twitter first thing in the morning. Someone has to tell him about this stuff. And of course, he's going to be outraged about this. They're going to, the blogs are now talking about this press release because it hit the news. They're talking about this. So they publish a press release in response, that say, denying this whole thing. It's just, it's just a fake press release. Don't believe it. Okay? But then they learn he's got porn on his website. So we might have to issue another press release that sort of contradicts the first press release, saying maybe to figure out how to get around it. He's going to be sweating bullets on this. All right. And maybe the hacker has some, they found some of the screenshots of what what these pages are and publishes it on Twitter and stuff like that and let people see what it is. So it all gets around. They're going to take it down quickly, but, it's going to be there. And it might look like something, like there's the CEO saying, this is good porn here, I personally guarantee it, So he is going to be pretty upset. Okay. And, at this point, now the antivirus companies are now creating signatures for that malware that we just talked about, that 0-day just came out. So this is the first round of chaos. Let's go a little bit deeper. Okay, so now Ivy gets some random email saying, one of your people, Lucy, was talking about XYZ's company and their new porn stuff, new porn content, and how she thinks it's a really good idea and all that. We just want to let you know. I said, Lucy? Lucy did this? So anyhow, they check it out, and lo and behold, in Lucy's file, there's some JPEGs that were on the website, and maybe a rough version of that press release in her files. Uh-oh. Ivy reports this to the chief, and Lucy gets fired. There's stuff like this. They just want the people out of there as quickly as possible, just hush-hush, hide everything, and all that, and get the person out of the door as quickly as possible. But now the blogs are talking about this too, about the porn pages that were showing up and how it sort of counters the first press release that came out. And the virus signatures are now updated and propagated throughout the, throughout the systems to say, here's the new, virus that we're putting a signature into the system, and they're all getting updated. All right. So this is sort of the second round of chaos. So what happens now? Okay, now the hacker decides to publish a second press release, faked one, from the XYZ company, saying, we're now as a policy that all our press releases are going to be cryptographically signed, and the public key to verify the contents of the press release is on our web page over here. And sure enough, there's a public certificate, it's on the web page, they can go to it, they can validate it, and they say, oh, and by the way, we are getting into the porn business, and this is cryptographically signed. And that the CEO has some issues with the current direction. All right, and by the way, the antivirus package just sort of says, oh, we have hundreds of machines are now infected with a virus. This is the third round of chaos. Shall we go on? All right. So, now next thing, this virus, it does have one thing this virus does. It was waiting for the right time, the time is now. It decides to make connections to random websites on the internet. But in the HTTP GET, in the header, they have this big new header in there that contains all this random information, random characters, very large files. Now, it actually really is random information, but from an analytical point, you can't tell the difference between something that's random and something that's encrypted. So as far as anyone can tell, this is sending encrypted information. And all the different machines are connecting to all these web servers on the outside and sending megabytes of data to tens of thousands of websites out there. And also, the antivirus package found some files in Ivy's directory. And it got triggered and notified. They look at them, and these are a little bit different. So this is the fourth round of chaos. Okay, finally. Okay, here's where we get the final stage here. So then in Ivy's directory, they find source code of this virus. Also, they found some more of these adult pages on there. And the press releases are also in Ivy's directory. So Ivy's now fired. So this is the fifth round of chaos. Now let me summarize what's going on here. We got this complete circle of chaos here. First of all, they got a PR nightmare. They keep coming out with these press releases, and their press releases contradicts other press releases, and they don't quite seem to know what they're doing. They're trying to handle this, trying to smooth everything out, and they're not quite too sure how to handle the situation. They also have this big virus infecting all these machines on the center, all over the place. They've got to deal with that. Where's the virus? How's it propagating? What's going on? They might trace it down to the fact that maybe it was, Lucy that was doing it. Everything that makes sense, but then maybe it's Ivy. She is involved too. So, and the third thing is they got all this, gigabytes of traffic going out to the internet that's encrypted. What is in there? Maybe it's their intellectual property. Someone's doing all this stuff. They better figure out what this is and stop it soon. The fourth thing they have to worry about is they have 2 cases of wrongful termination. I mean, the CEO is not going to care about this. They just want the people gone. They don't want to care about, excuses. What's that? Oh, okay. It says wrongful termination. I don't know what it is. Well, I got chopped off. Okay. All right. And the next one is, now people are going to have problems with their management. They're not quite comfortable with what's going on because Ivy and Lucy got fired. People know these people. They can't understand what's going on. Rumors get spread. People can't make up their mind as to what's going on and who's to blame for that. It seems like they're blaming people, for no real reason, or maybe they are. It's really confusing. And the fifth problem that they have is the fact that, well, the administrator of the server is now changed. They lost the primary and they lost the secondary, so they have some other person who's not familiar with that server. Now, you think they're going to care about that last one? It's just not going to be something that's high on their radar. So, Now we're going to complete the illusion. Now, like magic, if you know, once you know what's really happening, you're going to be disappointed because it's so simple. That's how magic is. But it's not just the effect it's done, it's the whole creation of the illusion with all of the misdirection and all the psychology of the whole thing. That's what makes magic interesting. But the actual, what really happens can be very simple. So what we're going to try, remember, what we're trying to do is trying to steal the information from the database and not be detected and be as natural as possible and leave no evidence. So this is what's done. It's pretty simple. Well, we're going to do a full backup of that database, and using some DNS cache poisoning or something like that, it goes to a different website, a different external server, maybe in a different country or whatever, but they may not notice it. And when it's all done, it sort of cleans up all traces of it. You know, the DNS cache will be cleansed, and as far as they can tell, everything looks perfectly fine. So therefore, you have profit. Thank you. All right, now just to summarize some things to talk about, press releases should be signed. I think detecting this sort of technique is going to require a new sort of philosophy, new ways of thinking about things and new motivations, understanding it. The obvious answer may not be the correct answer. It seems like it's the obvious one, but that may not be good enough. And unrelated events may not be unrelated. They the whole thing may be part of a big package. Forensics are really important, and people, like computers, are assets, and they're vulnerable to denial of service as well. So in the DVD and on my web page, there's an 18-page paper. I give a lot of detail to all this stuff. I've been collecting information about this. If you have any questions, contact me, and I'll update the papers, and hope you enjoyed it.